Hey everybody, I'm finally here reviewing episode 4 of Hazbin Hotel season 2. Now this episode was definitely one of the better ones. I mean, I've only seen up to episode 5 so far, but I'd say episode 2 is my favorite so far, with this one as a second. I would consider this episode to be a close second place if the first half of it wasn't so annoying. The second half though is really good, and I feel like there's a lot of cool scenes worth talking about, so I'm not going to waste any time and just get right into the review. This must be a record for the quickest I've ever gotten mad at an episode before.
Charlie, babe, I think you need to drop this.
Drop what? I'm just trying to clear up the misinformation about the hotel.
There is no point. Those fuckers work for Vox. Katie Killjoy is just gonna do the same thing the V's did. Don't feed into this crap. Just stay with me today. And the guests, also the guests.
I know, but I feel like if I explain myself on live television, then they won't be able to edit it like that video. You know I did not strike Velvet with an open fist.
I'm aware.
So just keep holding down the fort. You're doing great, by the way, until Nifty and I get back.
Nifty?
Okay, have fun. Love you. Bye.
Oh my fucking god, let it go. Before, people made the argument that Charlie dragged Vaggie into everything and didn't care about her input, and I thought it was a little bit harsh, but here, she's doing it. And this is not the first time she's done it. And it's clear the writers are aware she's doing it, but we'll get into that later. What pisses me off is this isn't the first time Charlie didn't listen to Vaggie's advice, and she knows what happened last time when she didn't. But she still doesn't listen and still tries to do everything herself. They made her so frustrating this season, and again, I'm not saying that Charlie has to be perfect and she can't ever be mean or do anything dumb or else she's automatically a bad character, but this is not the first time she's acted this way. That's why I'm so angry about it. Yeah, surprisingly, calling out a character's mistakes doesn't automatically make the audience want to forgive that character, especially if that character continues to make those same mistakes, and it takes them forever to actually apologize. So, we're gonna take a little bit of a break from the bullshit and read Val's text message to Angel, where we're gonna read it together. Okay, so I copied the whole thing down into my notes app. However, I wasn't able to get the entire text from Angel's phone. I guess I deleted some of the screenshots I had of it. I don't know. So you're just gonna have to take my word for it. Get this, we grabbed some of ZZ's crew, I think that's how you pronounce that, then we rent an island. I know what you're thinking, there are no islands in Pentagram City. Don't worry, I'll get Vox to make me one. Then we drop a group of hot fuckable sinners on said island by helicopter, and one likes to dig up bones in those fish rocks or whatever. Alone and horny. At least they think they are alone. The group dig up stuff and don't have sex. Then a dinosaur... Then a dinosaur sinner comes out and starts fucking them all. And like biting them and shit? I don't know. But like basically, island is occupied by horny sexy dinos and I want you to be the first one they fuck. So if I was you, I'd start lubing up. Oh wait, I forgot you're like being gay at that hotel. Well, you're in for a surprise when you come to work. I've already ordered the sand. Just let me know when you're getting bored over there and kick Tiffany out of your dressing room. Or maybe I won't. She's def's gonna wipe the awards this year, since she's actually trying. You're falling off big time, baby. It's kinda sad. Like, I could fix all this. Get you all dolled up at events like we used to, but you're being so distant. It breaks my heart and my balls. Like, remember the time we fucked during Velvet's last launch and everyone was staring? That could be us. Vox would never do that, and that's why you're so special to me. I miss you. Call me? How romantic. Moving on the brighter side, it was really cool to see Alastor as a human, and I really love hearing his natural voice. Also, I was spoiled that Rosie owned Alastor a long time ago by a little shit in my Discord server, and I am really mad I was spoiled for it because I know for a fact I never would have guessed that Rosie owned Alastor. Hell, I used to ship them. Back when I made a video on Alastor, I even had a stupid theory that Rosie was one of the only people Alastor genuinely liked. Another person that Alastor is shown to care about is Rosie. She's someone that Alastor clearly trusts a lot, as he lets her hug him. Anyway, she's someone that Alastor clearly trusts as he lets her hug him and they touch while dancing together. Rosie also trusts Alastor as she was originally hesitant to trust Charlie, but was convinced to after Alastor said that Charlie was trustworthy, showing that she values Alastor's opinion. I like to believe that Alastor considers Rosie a close friend as well. They are also both, which leads me to believe that they were in a similar situation regarding poverty when they were alive. However, I'm not 100% sure if they knew each other when they were alive. It might have been mentioned that they did, but I don't remember. I think they might have met in hell, but I'm not really sure. And the reason why I bring it up is because I know this seems like a dumb excuse, but Rosie just doesn't seem like a cold-blooded. Her friendship with Alastor seems so wholesome and genuine. Her friendship with Alastor seems so wholesome and genuine. And her friendship with Alastor seems so wholesome and genuine. So either they hadn't planned for Rosie to own Alastor at that point in time, or me just thinking Alastor looked happier around Rosie was just me being delusional. Like, they genuinely seemed really close, and Rosie seemed so nice. She was willing to give Charlie advice when Charlie was upset about Vaggie keeping the fact that she was an angel from her, and like, I know that anybody can be bad, and she could have just been putting up a facade, but wow, like, I just would not have seen this coming at all. And so I really wish I hadn't been spoiled for it. She seemed so nice. Another thing to note, Alastor just seemed so naturally comfortable with Rosie. Even when they interact with each other alone, Alastor calls her my dear. And it's not like anybody else was around to hear it. So it's just very confusing to me that he addresses her in this way. But going back into Alastor's past, I think for the most part, it's kind of factual that my theory was proved wrong. Around 2 years ago, I thought that Alastor became a murderer because of the stock market crash. Which, yeah, that sounds like a pretty stupid theory, okay? I know, I'm sorry. I was like 16, leave me alone. And part of the reason I used to believe this was not because I was like a delusional Alastor fanboy who was like, oh, he's actually a good guy deep down. The reason I thought this was because Charlie let him into the hotel. I thought Charlie must see something in him, like she must see him as more than just a cold-blooded murderer if she's letting him into her hotel, and seems to like him a lot. But now that she had her stupid shit with Vox where she said anybody can be redeemed, I guess that this theory doesn't really make sense anymore. Yo, future me here, just something I wanted to clear up. I originally thought that Alastor resembled a deer in hell because it was supposed to show, despite the fact that he has a strong front, he has a vulnerable side, which is seen during the finale song of season 1. But then somebody was like, no, you fucking idiot. It's literally just because he was mistaken for a deer when he was burying a body. And I was like, huh, yeah, that makes a lot more sense. However, in Alastor's flashback, while he was still human, we can see his other self, I guess, and it is a deer. So I'm not sure if this was supposed to be like foreshadowing his death. Maybe Rosie actually had something to do with his death and was able to pull some strings and make him die in such a way where he was mistaken for a deer. I'm not really sure. That's the only explanation I have as to why his shadow appears this way. So yeah, in conclusion, I'm a fucking idiot and you shouldn't take my theory seriously. I already talked about how idiotic it was for Charlie to go to Vox Tech again, so I'm not really gonna say much about the scenes of her talking to Katie. So aside from the interview bit being really annoying because Vaggie told her not to go and Charlie knew that this is Vox Tech, and then if Vox took her word out of context to make her look bad, then their station would have done the same thing, so I don't know why she went there or why she decided to do this. It's actually infuriating how Charlie just keeps doubling down. She already saw that Katie Killjoy was editing things to make her look bad, and she just kept talking. She kept trying to prove them wrong. Like, just shut up, you idiot. Oh, and maybe controversial opinion, but I thought that the joke was kind of funny. A highlight of this episode for me was definitely Vox and Alastor's fight. Oh look guys, the one prediction I got right was the most obvious fucking thing that literally anybody could have seen coming. I've been wanting to see them fight for a long time. They're probably my two favorite characters in this show. My jaw actually dropped when Vox started removing Alastor's stitches. That was such a painful scene.
Wait, call off your goons. I have a proposition for you.
Excuse me?
How about we make a little deal? I'll join your propaganda parade and be your little prisoner. All I ask for in exchange is two giant itty-bitty conditions.
The fuck is he doing? What conditions?
Let these irrelevant little... But more importantly, you're not to lay your hands on Charlie Morningstar.
Wait, that's it?
That's it. Pretty enticing, isn't it? Think of the headlines.
It's a deal. I fucking did it!
As for Alastor giving himself up for Vox, I'm so glad this wasn't one of the things I was spoiled for, because my jaw actually dropped when this happened. Like, it surprised me so much. Originally, I had a theory that Alastor did this because he cares about the residents of the hotel, but then one could also make the argument that he doesn't and just wanted power, because that's what he says to Rosie earlier in the episode. Then that begs the question why he gave himself up in the first place. Two little side notes, it was kind of sweet to see how much Nifty cared about Alastor. She immediately rushed out to Vox Tech after she knew he was in trouble, and I guess it's kind of good that Husk and Angel made up. Even though it was off screen, I feel like it would have been a lot more impactful if they made up on screen. Like I said before, someone as prideful and petty as Alastor giving himself up to Vox was very surprising, and I also just really like how petty Vox was about it. It was really funny. It sounds like his voice actor is having a lot of fun.
Oh, no, thank you. No, I won. You like, I know I won. I like winning. And let me be the one to tell the world that Alastor does not have a tail.
And I also still love the fact that Alastor is still able to get under Vox's skin. It's great. I really love that Alastor hasn't lost that part of him. It was amazing to see how much he was able to mix with Vox and humiliate him to his face. I feel like Vox held Alastor captive, thinking that Alastor would be the one stuck with him, but really, it's almost like Vox is the one who's stuck with Alastor.
Tell me how.
No, our deal is for me to be your captive. I don't have to tell you anything.
Seriously? You usually love to run your mouth. But I guess being a brat is kind of your thing, isn't it?
You'd be nothing without those two.
Excuse me?
You really haven't changed, have you? Still so reliant on all those around you. Always seeking someone to put up with your incessant.
You know, I think I prefer the silence.
What? Don't want to be reminded of how desperate you were for attention? Back then, you and I were as close to equals as I'd imagined down here. You had your decent ideas, you were growing your power, and it was almost impressive.
Alright, now for the highlight of the episode, I think. I am so glad to see us finally getting a story between these two.
And I respected you. And then you went and ruined it. I thought you found me, what was it? Inspiring.
You're inspiring, really. And when you think about it, modern entertainment actually started with radio. Am I boring you with my compliments?
Perhaps.
Well, look, I'll just get to the point. We've been close for a few years now, right? I mean, people know us. They love us. And with new overlords popping up every day, and before you hit me with that, well, you pretty knew yourself. I know, okay? But I'm much more forward-thinking, so it's in your best interest to hear me out.
I'm listening, pal. Barkeep, another whiskey?
So, I've been thinking, Alastor, with your incredible power and my massive influence, we would be unstoppable. Radio and video. Me and you, we could rule hell together as partners.
Oh, you're serious? Oh, come now, Vox. I knew you could be pathetic at times, but I didn't realize you were so weak.
What?
Oh, fuck. You need me to join your team. And here I thought you might actually be approaching my level, but asking for assistance? A partnership? I am quite disappointed in you.
I just thought, since we're friends.
Friends? There are no friends in hell, Vincent. I thought that was something you understood. How embarrassing.
Maybe I'm just misjudging here, but Vox seems a lot nicer. Kinda awkward, kinda shy, but he seems like a decent guy, you know, like not as evil as he is now. Again, no spoilers please, but I hope we get to see more of his past self later in this season, because it's a nice change. It's kinda sad to see him like this. Like, I know I shouldn't feel bad for him because he's an awful person, but I do. I felt kinda bad. Something I noticed upon rewatching this flashback is that Alastor actually genuinely smiles and laughs when talking to Vox, which is kinda sweet. So, like, it's obvious that Alastor had some form of respect for him and did care about him. A lot of people were saying that the reason Alastor was put off and started degrading him was because it was obvious that Vox was getting feelings for him, and Alastor is Arrow Ace. And if that's true, that's another thing I was wrong about, because I said that Alastor was never proven to be Arrow, he was just proven to be Ace, which was true at the time, to be fair. Maybe Alastor is dense as fuck and didn't notice that Vox actually had feelings for him until this moment, when he started being all touchy, and that's why Alastor lashed out. I also think it could have something to do with Alastor being a narcissist, and Vox essentially implied that they were equal. Again, I don't really know how I feel about 2 out of the 3 asexual characters in the Helliverse being narcissists, because it kind of just goes along with the stereotype. People who are Arrow and or Ace think they're better than everybody, and that's why they're Arrow or Ace, but it's probably not a big deal. I'm probably just overthinking it. I do really like Vox's song at the end. I love the callback to Rosie's song. They're both reminding Alastor that he's under their control, at least for the time being, and that must be a huge hit to somebody like Alastor, who's making fun of Vox for relying on other people, but now he's literally under somebody else. I thought this episode was pretty interesting. The second half was definitely better than the first half. I really can't stand Charlie acting like this, and oh, did I tell you that she gets worse? How lovely. I can't wait to watch more. Can't you tell how fucking excited I am based on my voice? Okay, I have like 40 seconds of gameplay left, so we're gonna be as fast as I can. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm so sorry again for the long wait. I really enjoyed editing the first video of me going over season 2, but this one was kind of a chore, and that's why it took me so long to get out. Originally, I planned on lumping episode 4 and 5 into the same video, so it didn't seem like I was just milking season 2 for views. But to be fair, these videos haven't gotten too much views anyway. And like I said, originally I was planning on covering both 4 and 5 in the same video, but I wanted to get this video out faster, and I'm also just really lazy. But I appreciate you guys putting up with the inconsistencies and flaws in my content. Okay, bye and shit. Oh, and have a nice Thanksgiving tomorrow.